years was false. And when she was brought to Georgetown and re-examined, it found their initial statement, and the statement was made in the public because there was an article about it in Kaijura News saying that the victim's statement is false. This is a 9-year-old child. Do you think that her mind could even fathom the amount of things that she went through over the years, and to be able to recollect it in the same sequence to every official that she had to speak to? And even after the second examination was conducted and it was found that what she's saying is actually true, this police never reissued a statement just to clarify what they've said before, and this is something that's been left in the public. And she was of the perception that she would come down, she would be re-examined, she would give her statement, and she would return home because she already had a foster parent and she had already started school. The organization even made community representation for her to ensure the school accepted her, because even at the age of 9 she had never gone to school before. The teachers were even willing to work with her to bring her up to the standard of every other student in class. But since she came down on the 28th of September, she's never returned home. We have asked the coordinator.
What happened to her?
When she came down on the 28th, in the custody of her foster parent, the coordinator for the trafficking in persons unit of the Ministry of Social Protection, Ms. Williams Corbin, she called me to inform me that she would be entered into protective care. I then queried as to whether or not this has become a standard practice for the ministry, because to my best knowledge, the victim has to decide that she wants to be in protective care. And the victim has outlined that she doesn't want to be with anybody else other than her foster mother. From since then, they said that they had to take a second statement for her. They had contacted us on October 7th, stating that they were trying to get a translator, which was a complete shock to us because she speaks English. You don't need a Carib translator for a child that speaks English. I could understand if it is that Carib was the only language she spoke, but she learned Carib after learning English. They said that the second interview had to be conducted.
So this is the Ministry of Social Protection?
Yes. The second interview has been completed since October. We're now going over to January. She has not returned home.
Why do you think this is happening? What is from your personal experience and as the president of this organization, what do you think might be the reason for this?
I think the system that is currently in place for these girls to be reintegrated is not developed with the victim in mind. Because even if you're going to look at it from the human rights perspective, the United Nations handbook, the fact sheet on the rights of victims outlines clearly that detainment of a victim is illegal. If the victim is stating that she wants to return home, then why are you keeping her? Even if you're going to look at her rights, she has the right to an education. When she is in protective care, she is away from school. She's not being educated.
Oh, they don't have education programs in it?
They have programs in protective care, but it isn't as though she's attending a school. So she will be taught during the period that she's there, but is she being taught what she's supposed to learn? And if she has a foster parent, they don't have any threat against her because her perpetrator died, why is she still in care? And this isn't an isolated incident. You even had some instances where victims attempted suicide out of frustration of continuously asking to return home, and they're not getting to return home. We've had one victim that we assisted from the Dominican Republic who attempted suicide because she's continuously asking to return home.
Dominican Republic. So this is an international matter as well.
Yes.
Let us, I think our viewers, grasp some of the issues you're talking about, the cases. And since you mentioned Dominican Republic, please tell our viewers some of the things you know about the geography, from which countries people bring others, or they traffic in persons, so to speak, here in Guyana.
So far, the organization have found numerous illegal immigrants in Guyana that have been trafficked and are victims of trafficking. They hail from not only Dominican Republic, but we've had persons from Colombia, from Venezuela, and also from Brazil, in which we have rescued so far. And additionally to executing rescues, the organization has partnered with the Sisters of Mercy to create the country's first safe home for victims
So
of trafficking.
what is Sisters of Mercy? Tell our viewers.
Oh, Sisters of Mercy is a Catholic group of nuns that we have partnered with. They not only have a partnership with us, but they also have Mercy Wings, which is a vocational training facility. So what we have done so far is to ensure that all of the persons in which we are providing care to, well, firstly, they have to decide for themselves that they want to be a part of the program. It isn't something that is forced, because nothing that a victim receives should ever be forced, because you're basically placing them into a similar situation that they were rescued from if you're going to force them into anything. It provides them with protection as they attend court. It provides them with an opportunity to be developed not only if you wish to return to school, if you wish to do vocational training. During July, August of this year, we had 10 residents at that time, and all of them took part in intensive training.
10 residents. Residents
Yes.
of what? What do?
All of the residents are victims of trafficking, but
Oh,
when
so
they're in the facility, we
Which
don't.
facility?
In Together in Peace.
Is that?
Together in Peace is the name of
Together
the
in
safe
Peace.
home.
Oh, so you have a safe home.
Yes.
And where is that safe home located?
We can't say where the
That's
safe
it.
home is
Okay.
located.
So you have, so
Then
you
it will
have
cease to be safe.
how many people can be accommodated in that safe home?
Our capacity is 15.
15, and right now you have 10.
Yes.
Okay. So it's good for the public to know that they
Yeah.
have these opportunities, these facilities.
Yes.
And if someone wants to talk to you about the problem that they face
Yes.
in regards to trafficking or related issues, who do they contact and how?
They would contact Marina Charles.
Or in charge is the secretary. You have a telephone number? Is this your telephone number?
No, the office number is there. They can contact either her, they can contact myself, any
This
member.
is the office number?
Yes.
Okay, the office number is 223-6978. And there's a mobile telephone number 686-4207. So if anyone wants to contact the Guyana Women Minors Organization, you can please do so. Anyone in some kind of a problem, or you feel that you've been involved in situations whereby you're not treated fairly and you can get some help from the organization, please call the number. Once again, the number is 223-6978 and 686-4207, Guyana Women Minors Organization. So
And
let us-
also, if you can't come to Georgetown, we have regional representatives, so they'll be able to reach you wherever you are.
Okay, please tell our viewers who are some of the representatives in the different regions. Can you call the names or?
Yes. For Region 1, this is Miss Stephanie Miguel. For persons living in Madia, your representative would be Miss Diane Gordon. For persons living in Mabura, because Region 8 is diverse, and to get from one area to the other would take you not only a lot of time, but a lot of money. So you have the regional representative, and then you have persons in the various communities. So if you're in Mabura, then your representative would be Miss Grace Prince. If you're from Baratika, then your representative for Region 7 would be Miss Latoya Shows. If you are in Mbamadai, which is Upper Mazaruni, then your representative would be Miss Donna Scott. And if you were in Georgetown, your representative would be Miss Mary Vitales.
Okay, so you have representatives all over the place.
Yes.
Very good. So your organization has a good network.
Yes.
So do you interact with the police force as well? And they have the community policing groups
Yes.
in the various regions. Do you also interact with the National Democratic Council
We do. And also if there
or
is
the Neighborhood Democratic Council?
if there is any way in which we see that we would be able to further assist the persons in which we interact with. Because if you're going to complain about the services of the police, then you also have to identify where the problems with the police lie and to see where they can be improved. Or you would always be complaining about the same thing continuously. Just earlier in November last year, we visited Region 9 for an outreach, and we were able to identify that the Shelton police station was in dire need of repairs. As such, we made representation to the Ministry of Public Security, and we were informed earlier this year that their police station would not only be would be rehabilitated next year, but they would also be receiving transportation, because what I brought to the attention of the minister is that for such a vast community as Shelton, the police didn't have any form of transportation. So they were basically depending on the community and persons within the community to provide them with transportation. As such, their work could not be done objectively. Because how can you go report on the same man that is going to help you get from point A to point B?
So who pays the piper calls the tune. Okay, Miss Marina Charles, what are some of your personal experiences working in this organization so far?
Well, it is so much that, it is a kind of amazing when you get out in the interior to advocate for these girls that are being trafficked, that are being abused in different forms. The age, the first thing, the age limit, that of itself is shocking, because you would find at that age, not only persons would traffic these girls, but the very mother. The mother would traffic these girls.
But what are some of the reasons you think would cause the mother to do that kind of thing?
Well, they would say
mothers
that
are supposed to love their kids, right?
Right, but then they would say that okay, they have to help to bring in an income. And then most times you find in some of these interior locations, the parents is be involved in a lot of drinking and what have you. So these girls are left alone and they have to find for themselves. Sometimes somebody approach the parent, you would give it with your daughter. So we're saying now that it's something more serious than you ever think about. And when you look at the ages of these girls, it is most surprising because...
So what are some of the ages you can tell our viewers?
9, 8,
wow.
10, 11,
Wow.
14. Pretty young, they're supposed to be going to school. So you'll find that at the age of 10 and all these ages 14, these girls never visit a school, they never go to school, because even when we did the educational program for them last August, 3 of them, it was the very first experience for them in a classroom, because it was so strange that the boys into tears. So right away we assigned one of our managers to be with them to make sure that they understand what they have to do and what they do. Like they would have assignments and so on, they were able to take care of that. Mm-hmm. So when she get home with them in the afternoon, she would go over the work, and it was very good because it built a lot of their self-esteem. They got a lot of courage, because we had a 11-year-old that was pregnant. She got her baby and just did the program, and it's so surprising now when you sit down and look at that very young lady who never used to talk at all and sits whole day crying because of some of the discomfort she might be going through. Then she ended up at our home and going through these kind of training, the educational training. You would find in the home, you would teach them and different things. Mm-hmm. She opened up,
changed person.
Yes, very much. And all of them, it kind of boosts their self-esteem. It boosts them up as a person, because they never thought that they would ever sit in a classroom, because at the age of 13 and 14, you're not in school. You find yourself pregnant, you're being trafficked, so many different things happen. You would look at it, this is my last hope. But then when they realized that they went to school, each one of them attained 4 certificates from the Carnegie Home of Economics. That gave them a push. So when the program came up with the Morrissey sisters, they were all ready and going. So yes, even though it would look as it's a bad start for them, but it turned out to be very good, and they're very proud because having conversations with them, they're going out to different places, you find them talking, they engaging in conversations with others, and it did quite a lot for them. But trafficking is a very serious activity going on around our country.
So why can't the government send in the army or the police force and just arrest these people? What is the problem? What is preventing that from happening?
You see, sometimes everybody don't report. They would call the organization and say, look, this is what is happening. And we would engage the other members. If we don't have enough finance to go, everybody would pool and be gone and recce the whole area, bring out these girls, and if they're supposed to be charged. But sometimes you got to actually go through the whole system, because you gotta make sure the police thing, you gotta know what is forcing them, make sure they get arrested, make sure the case is in court. Yes, the DPP would say the court should advise them to charge, but the persons are being charged and they never notify the girls that they would have to go to court. So all the time the case is going on, these girls are appearing in the court. So what will happen? The magistrate will eventually say, well, no, they're not interested. But it's not they're not interested. The police would not notify them. They would tell them when they're ready for them. They would send a message. And today it is over a year some of the
No, but the
cases going
judicial
on.
system is not supposed to ensure that the victims were adequately and properly notified of the dates that they have to go to court dates.
I don't think so.
They're supposed to, but is it actually